Yo, SojuTalk Nation! On this week's episode, we'll be covering Fuego releases from Taeyeon and BTS. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including BTS smashes pre-order records, Zico's Any Song and All Kills Explained, and KCON announces dates and locations for 2020. So prepare your body, stow away all carry-on luggage, because it's time to get spicy. Hit me with that intro. Hey, what's up everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 70. That's crazy. 70. And we're recording on Monday, January 20th, 2020. I almost said 2019. But I'm Doug, and I'd like to... Wait, what?
Joining me today, we have Voren.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
And as a quick reminder, leave us emails at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the SojuTalk YouTube channel. Join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. All right, I might be a bit of a mess. About 10 seconds before we started recording, I choked on some coffee, but
You could have waited.
we're ready to do this. But in terms of announcements, we dropped a special episode number 69.5 that's called State of the Nation. It's a lot more meta, and it's a behind-the-scenes look at our podcast and how we function and things going forward. So please check that out. And also on there, you probably heard this announcement, but the short of it is that KCON dropped a poll called KCON 2020 Dream Lineup Poll, and included in that poll is a chance to nominate influencers. So we would greatly appreciate it if you could nominate us, so maybe we could meet some of you in person. But the poll ends Wednesday night at midnight, so you can only fill this out if you're listening to this on day one for the first 16 hours, I think. So there is that, but the form can be found on KCON's website or their SNS site, so please do that, please. Warren needs to see Rocket Punch because they're 100% going this year.
Again, you're
We could talk about their... I'm gonna let you finish, but we're talking about KCON later in the show, so we'll get back to that.
Oh my god.
In terms of big new releases this week, I'm going to say we had a sentimental week. So on January 15th, Wednesday, we had Taeyeon with Dear Me. And then on January 17th, Friday, we had BTS with Black Swan. But let's start at the top with Taeyeon's Dear Me. So this is a song off of her repackaged version of her Purpose album. And it rose to the top of iTunes charts in 24 countries. She is from SM, of course, debuted in 2007 with Sonyeo and 2015 as a solo artist. Her last three songs were Four Seasons, Page Zero, Something New, but I think I'm forgetting the song. Oh, what was the most recent song? Spark. Oh my god. She's won 100 music show wins with Girls' Generation and 18 as a solo artist.
118 wins.
Whoa.
That's a lot of trophies.
That might be the most by an individual, but don't quote me on that. Okay, so let's get to her song, Dear Me. I thought that this was an incredibly uplifting and courageous song for her to put out. First thing, the lyrics of this song are ridiculous. So here's a little sampling. There are things I want to tell myself as if I'm singing. I love myself. I trust myself. Words that I didn't have before. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So Taeyeon has come out and said that she has some mental health issues in the past. And for her to come out and drop these kind of lyrics in her song, I think is tremendous and, well, courageous of her, number one, brave. But the other and I also want to say that I feel like this is only a song that someone like Taeyeon could release. And by that I mean, like, because she's been an idol for so long, she's at a certain age, and she's had a lot of success, that she has the freedom to sing about the things she really wants to sing about at this point, which I don't think a lot of artists can say. Lastly, I want to thank her for releasing the song, because I think sometimes we don't tell ourselves enough that I love myself or I trust myself. I know I don't, for one. And this song really made me think about that. It got me a little bit emotional, not gonna lie. So check that out. But those are my takes about this one.
Okay.
That means go. That means go, Warren.
All right, my turn. Is it okay? I'm going kind of extending off of what you said about the lyrics. She does take what she started in the previous song, Spark, and kind of expands upon that a little more here. So it does feel very appropriate that this is a repackage of the previous
Right.
song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mood wise, it's also a lot more like calm. It's a lot more ballady, rock ballady here. So also as a repackage, it's a lot more appropriate. So it's in many ways a very appropriate song for a repackage. Going off of the previous song that we had before. That being said, you know, I do think that she probably had a lot of creative input with this song, is what I'm guessing. Because there is some sort of extension with her as a career, her as a personality, and the way it seeps into the music. Which, if you've listened to the previous episodes, you know that that's something I really dig. That's something I really like when an artist puts their personality into their songs. Awesome stuff, good stuff. That being said, that does remind me a lot of other artists. Like, for example, I don't want to compare people to people, but IU does come to mind as a female soloist
I
who
see.
does have a lot of creative say over her music, both in terms of themes and also in terms of production. Here, I feel like the production is a little less characterized towards Taeyeon. It does, the instrumentals, you know, the production seems, it feels a little more cliche to me. So in that aspect, I wish it was a little different. But I mean, it does do a lot of the things that songs of this genre needs to do and does do. So there isn't really complaints here. There aren't any complaints here in terms of production or themes or anything really, and it kind of does make me really excited for what she has next, because I feel like this is a good epilogue to the musical journey she has up until this point. Like a it's like an end of a character arc, not an epilogue, but it's an end of a character arc. And now that she has wrapped up this part of the arc, now we're looking at the next part of the arc. See where she goes
She has
next.
a tendency to, like, I don't know if it's just me, but my perception is since Girls' Generation, she has a tendency to, like, go AFK for a while and then come back with some stuff. I don't know. Is it just me, or do you feel like that a little bit too?
I mean, I feel like I see her every now and then on TV, you know, or like her social media. I'm not personally her world's biggest fan, so I don't keep track of everything she does. But every time I feel like I'm on the verge of forgetting her, she does come back.
That's true.
So I feel like as long as she keeps this up, it'll be fine. I'm really excited to see where she goes next, both in terms of Girls' Generation and her as a soloist. So,
but Anita, lastly, what did you think of Taeyeon's "Dear Me"?
I feel like I prefer, or maybe I've grown to like this side of Taeyeon where she releases like the pure ballads, kind of just showcasing her vocal ability. And for me, this particular song and the lyrics feel very melancholic. I think the guitar, like, very stripped down, very simple. I kind of got sense like it made me think of like 2000s, like mid 2000s ballads, where I feel like the guitar just brought that vibe to me, where it seemed very like thinking about younger days, where things are a little bit more simple. And I don't know if that was the main idea, like that she was, if she had creative input, of course, if this was the vibe she wanted to portray as well. But I think it was interesting because even with that kind of instrumental and seeing her like very mature, very clean, elegant, I don't know, it feels like a very grown up, like a resolution of sorts. And I feel like I felt what Warren was saying, where it seems like a sense of closure, maybe starting something different in the next year. Maybe if she's taking a break and following a different direction afterwards.
Well,
I could definitely
confirm
see
that.
it.
I can confirm that too. 'Cause
Oh.
she said on this was one of those borderline things that I was gonna include on one of the podcasts a couple weeks ago. She said that 2020 is going to be a year of healing for her. So this is definitely a start of that.
Yes,
for sure.
that's what it feels like for sure. But I really enjoyed the song. I feel like it felt bittersweet because it does feel like there's a sense of feeling like oh, I'm finally okay, but also like thinking back as to what had happened in the past.
That's
And
true.
with her mentions of like mental stability and things that happened recently and in the past with friends. I don't know. I just feel like it's a type of song where you could always find something to connect to. Like you have been in that spot before as well. So I found it really, really nice that she put this out at this point.
Awesome. You know, she's like top tier solo artist. Anything she releases, she like. It's weird because everyone knows her from Girls' Generation, but at the same time, it's like whenever she releases anything solo, she has great numbers overall in terms of album sales. She's the top 2 female solo artists in terms of sales with IU for sure. And
For sure.
overall, this is a great song. I'm sure the repackage is gonna sell a ton of albums again, but let's pivot on to someone else who's selling ridiculous numbers of albums.
Real big numbers.
So we're gonna talk about the pre-order and stuff in the news section. So let's talk about this one of the pre-release songs first. So BTS dropped Black Swan, which is the first pre-release single off of Map of the Soul 7. So this is co-written by RM, and Black Swan is inspired by American dancer Martha Graham's quote, "A dancer dies twice, once when they stop dancing, and this first death is the more painful." The song expresses fear of the moment when an artist can no longer perform on stage, and it is performed by the Slovenian MN Dance Company. Shout out to them, because
Yes.
this was
Yes.
some modern dancing. Like, that guy's almost a contortionist, the main guy, the shirtless guy.
Yes. A lot of control. Wow.
Also the set that, like, it looked like an abandoned mall.
Mm-hmm.
That set was crazy. I was afraid they were gonna fall at one point. They were like walking over, like,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no guardrails and that, like,
Yes.
I was worried for them. But
Nah, they pros. They ain't gonna fall. They pros.
before we talk about the song, it achieved number 1 in 97 countries on iTunes when I last checked.
Wow.
97 countries.
That breaks the record for the most iTunes number 1 for a song by a Korean act in the history of iTunes,
Oh.
surpassing Psy's Gangnam Style, which won first place in 86 countries.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
And this is the pre-release song.
Yes.
This is not the main release.
We're not even on the main game yet. Wow. That's crazy.
But all right, let's talk about the song now. So for me, I thought that the music video, and at least the music video version of the song, because there are 2 versions of the song. You could go check out the other one on, you can find it on YouTube. I think you could find it on Spotify as well. The one from the music video though, with the what did we decide to call them? Orchestra instruments.
Classical instruments.
Classical
Violin,
instruments.
viola.
I thought that version of the song, overall, this was not K-pop. I thought this was more just straight up art. I don't know. And I thought that definitely the music video concept transcends regular K-pop, because number 1, the artists aren't in it, right? They're just trying to send a
Right.
message. Along with the written explanation that I read out in the beginning, I can also see this song having another theme. So here's one of my interpretations of the song.
Okay.
I thought that one of the themes that could be interpreted is that the K-pop industry is like overall, I thought it was a commentary on the K-pop industry and the fear of not being relevant anymore and not having a stage to perform on anymore. So, and I thought the overall message was to just live in the moment, because you never know when they're going to take the stage away from you. I don't know if I'm looking too much into that, but I thought that was one way you could interpret this from a K-pop standpoint.
Yeah, I feel like you're stretching it a little bit, but I don't think it's an interpretation more so, but it's more of a underlying theme here.
Okay.
I guess
Oh,
that's the
with
same
the
point.
other pre-release?
No. With this pre-release, where like
Oh, really?
I don't think
Okay.
it's something that they directly meant to portray, but like at the core of their message is the message that Doug just said, with like we don't know when we're gonna be irrelevant. So
I'm not saying for BTS
Sure.
being, because clearly they're relevant, but
oh, right. I mean, eventually, right? Like
yeah.
the fear, like I mean, we don't think BTS is gonna get irrelevant anytime soon, but like if I'm at the top, I'm gonna be concerned, right? Like,
You know what else I thought? The other way I thought of it in terms of BTS was, before I read the description, I thought maybe this was a song talking about how there was rumors a couple years ago how they were all kind of burnt out.
really?
Ah.
And I thought this was a commentary, that could have been a personal commentary on that.
Mm.
But for me though, this song really hit home because I've done like 2 performance things in my life. The first one was like tap dancing from the age of like 5 to 18. I did dance from 3 to 18, but 5 to 18. And then we did that Korean drumming thing in college together, right? Until I left graduate school. Both of those were like, it's like this, I can't do those anymore. Well, I could, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like I was at the same studio my entire time. The Korean drumming were at the same club. So you can't really do them anymore. And I just thought the message of like, in death, I think there's rebirth. And I thought it was kind of like that too. Because for me, it was like, when I think about my life, it's like once I stopped doing tap dance, it was like when I left high school, when I left being a kid, when I went to college. And the same thing with Korean drumming. When I finished Korean drumming, I was out of graduate school. I'm like fully an adult now, right? I'm not in a school environment. So that was one thing that I personally thought while listening to the song. Now let's go to the 2 versions of the song, because I thought that the 2 versions hit extremely differently if you listen to them. One of them, classical, you're kind of nuanced in there. You're checking out the art of the music video. The Spotify version has a lot more bass and a lot more, I don't know if it's trap, but it's something like that, right? What would you call it, Warren?
I would just say it's trap.
Okay, it is trap. So it's a lot more trap than the music video. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but for me, with Shadow, which was the song from the trailer, right? Their crazy pre-release numbers, which we will discuss later, and now Black Swan, I think this album is going to break every single possible record.
Crazy.
And as y'all know, I'm not the biggest BTS fan, but I'm like extremely hyped for this album now, overall.
It's crazy how like none of us are the world's biggest BTS fans, but we're all still hyped. Like,
Of course.
I'm so hyped, dude.
which record are they gonna break this time?
It's crazy. I mean, there's a thing about liking to watch other people succeed and see like how high can it go, and this is definitely in one of those situations. But
Every time BTS breaks a record, it's like I feel good because I feel like we're stretching the boundaries and limits of the genre. And man, big people doing big things. I guess I should pivot into my reactions of the song.
Yes.
Okay, so I listened to the audio version first, and then went and checked out the music video. I was so my first impression of the song was that it's a trap beat, trap instrumental, trap like very trap inspired vocals, lots of autotune, lots of chorus filters, whatnot. You know, lots of like Travis Scott, Astro World going on over here. And not in a bad way, but in a very, very good way, in which I am hearing melodies I would hear in a K-pop boy band, but with a very modern American hip-hop approach. And it was great. It was wonderful. The instrumental, there's nothing I can criticize here. Again, I'm not the world's biggest fan of, you know, BTS's rap line, but at the same time, they do deliver a very good quality of rap. So I was, in general, very, very satisfied. It's honestly a track that I would put in my playlist and listen with all of my other hip hop songs, even though this is a genre that's already been very thoroughly explored and very thoroughly being performed. And then I saw the music video, which if you listen to the composition of the song, first of all, visual wise, it's brilliant. I'm not a professional in terms of modern dance in any aspect, but you know, looking at that, wow, it's like it's not something I normally watch, and seeing this in terms of this K-pop approach to modern choreography was almost breathtaking. It was beautiful. It was great. That being said, the instrumental takes a couple elements of the original, well, the audio version of the track. It takes the exact acapella with the exact same vocal effects, and then there's a main loop which is like bong bang bong bang bong bang bong bang, you know, the plucks, you know, like you guys know what I'm talking about.
I get you. Right. The plucks.
I do this every week. Stop laughing.
It's funny though.
But and then it adds about 4, 5, sometimes 6. I can't tell the difference between those, but it adds a couple string instruments in, what seems like one cello, one viola, and a couple violins. Not the world's biggest fan. It kind of felt like they made the audio version first, and then they were like, all right, now let's film this modern choreo video. But clearly hip hop trap isn't really gonna work here.
Mm.
Oh, I know. Let's just add on a different instrumental to the same vocal line.
Rearrange.
Right. That being said, the vocal line was perfectly suited for this trap version.
Mm-hmm.
So adding this new, I guess, remix or alternate arrangement of the song, it felt really lackluster. I've listened to hip hop for 12 years. I've played violin for about 14 years. So between those two, I am a big fan of both genres, really, classical music and hip hop music. But sometimes some things aren't meant to be arranged in a certain way, and I felt like this was what it was. If I had the opportunity to listen to either the classical arranged Black Swan and the trap arrangement of Black Swan, I would 100% always choose the trap arrangement of Black Swan, because it's also one of those things where like the trap arrangement is able to stand on itself. The classical arrangement relies on the dance to be a
That's
full,
a great point. That's a
to be a
good
full
point.
experience. That being said, together it works, but in the video, I feel like the video is the main course,
Right.
and the audio is like spontan, like side pieces.
Right.
Bro,
Accompanying the
why
main
you so
meal.
smart, bro?
I got this big brain energy.
You know
right
what this
here.
got me thinking? Warren, we should go set out a Craigslist ad for dancers, and you and I should reenact the music video.
Oh.
What? No.
I don't know if anyone would want to see that. I think it'd be hilarious though. So if you're listening to the audio version, Warren's trying to do the moves right now. But Anita, what did you think of Black Swan?
Well, I did not get to listen to the audio trap version before
You are
watching the
missing
music
out,
video.
buddy.
I will listen to it, but I feel like for me, I guess maybe I felt like the visuals for the music video were very, very interesting,
Yes.
very, very well done, that I almost didn't feel like the classical rearrangement, or I guess I didn't really focus too much on the classical rearrangement of the song. Well, mostly because I didn't know it was like an alternate version, but for me, it definitely felt like Warren said, where the music was kind of complementary to the dance. Also, props to the lead dancer, super good, like, amazing performance by the whole group, but especially him, his control, like it was crazy. It was really good. You should definitely see it if you haven't. I feel like, as far as the lyrics and the meaning of the song, I don't know. I feel like it's very intriguing because as the group is getting older, as their fame keeps getting bigger and bigger, I do feel like there is a pressure. And like we mentioned before, it seems logical that they could have that fear of like what's going to happen after somebody has to go to the army first, or I don't know, something happens and popularity falls down a bit. So I feel like I like how they're exploring this side. If they've done it a little bit before, and they've shown like a side of that in Shadow, but I like the different ways they're doing that. I think it's interesting, and I'm really excited for the album. I feel like it's been a while since I've been that excited for a BTS album. I think the last couple of singles have been a little bit of misses for me personally. But this sounds really, really interesting. I feel like this is more of the kind of sound that I like from them, like a little bit darker, a little bit more introspective, but still very hard hitting. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Between the Shadow pre-release and this,
Which was crazy too.
which was crazy, and this one, I feel like this album is gonna have more of a thematic direction than the previous one.
Agree, yeah.
The last one was kind of I don't want to say all over the place, but it did take a lot of parts of their lives, and after listening to the album, I was like, all right, so what's the message you want to tell me? Here, I feel like already with these two tracks, I'm like, all right, okay, okay, I feel you, fam, I feel you, like that.
It's like a commentary on their last couple years and like what's been going on with them for sure.
Yeah,
but I only have two male albums in my collection. I have Big
Ooh.
Bang's Remember album, and I have Rain's Rainism album, which is
Rain.
which is kind of cringy to have, but I have it.
Yeah, that didn't age well, did it?
I might be making it 3. I'm heavily debating it right now.
wow.
That's a lot
Oh,
for
wow.
me as the girl group guy. Also, shout out to Slovenia, because, you know, the dancing was
And then Dance
fantastic.
Company.
I didn't know people can move in that manner. When he moves like the back muscles in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
Yes.
Like in the dance world, you know, there's like certain hotbeds of tons of talent. So in the United States, it's New York and Los Angeles, of course. New York
Right.
historically was more ballet focused. Los Angeles is hip hop focused, right?
Right.
And then you think of like the Eastern Europeans and Russians with the ballet and modern dance. That's clearly what we're seeing here. But the other thing I thought what Anita said about like what's gonna happen to them later in the future, it's like it's that point where the only thing that's undefeated is time. No one can beat time.
Right.
Oh man.
We getting
Yes.
deep today, right?
Man, we
Like-
get deep today.
So in the public health, so I obviously so I have a master's in epidemiology, which is pretty much disease/health statistics, right? In a lot of our lectures, the professor said like the only inevitability and the only thing you could count on is death, which is time, essentially. Like, you know, everything has an end. Time is like that. Everything is like that. So it really got me thinking about my days. You know, I found this week to be with the music to be reflective, to say the least. It had me thinking about a lot of things, and I don't know. Sometimes we just have like weeks of like Moombathon and stuff, and this week we're getting like some introspective things. Also, the side piece for this week, Bobby's "Rest Your Bones," also introspective, right? Like,
Right. A theme.
so this is like a special track, and it is he even in the video description it says a special gift for Iconic, which is their fan group. So go check that out, Bobby's "Rest Your Bones." They also announced the comeback, I think about an hour ago. So that will be at
wow.
the end of the show. So now let's get into our show winners. Anita, hit us with them.
All right. So for this show and show champion, there was no winner. But
Big
for
oof.
M Countdown, SF9 won for the first time ever with Good Guy.
Hey,
and
SF9.
and
Shout-
also for the second time.
Hey,
Music Bank.
SF9. Shout out to Rodrigo. He's an SF9 stan in our Discord.
Yes.
Shout out to the boy Rodrigo, the Prince of Portugal. Let's go.
And for show Music Core, Red Velvet won, and they also won for Inkigayo, giving them a triple crown. I can't speak today. And they're now up to 8 wins with Psycho.
First triple crown of the decade is Red Velvet
Yes.
Psycho.
Wow. Okay.
Let's go. But
Decade's only been
SF9, good luck
3.
for them finally winning. And Music Bank's a big show. That's one of the big 3
Yes.
shows too.
That's true.
So that's a very difficult accomplishment that sometimes people forget.
It's a big win.
All right, I gotta go get the monster in the closet. We're
in the closet.
we're gonna get Hot Take Harold out, the boogeyman himself. So Hot Take Harold, my cousin's gonna come on, give his weekly hot take, and then we will react and discuss the hot take.
I feel like it's monster from under the bed. Like I don't know if like monster in the closet, is that a thing? I don't know if it is.
bro.
Here he is.
Oh man, it's not a good look for her with the hat today.
Whatever.
Hat on hat.
The weekly hot take is many groups are hindered by their large number of members. Boom.
How you doing, Harold? How's life going for you? Did you also have an introspective week?
No.
Oh,
Life's all about spice, bro.
oh, okay.
Bye.
All right, see you, man.
All right, so
All
Cousin
right.
Harold's hot take was many groups are hindered by their large number of members. We talked about this a long time ago, maybe a year ago or so. I want to say my opinions have changed on this completely.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure completely because I can't quote myself from a year ago. My feelings now are it's a case-by-case basis, but having more members means there's a higher bar of entry for me to like groups.
Oh wow, that's okay.
Like the way I want to put it is a group like Luna, right? You know, my number 2 to 3 favorite group. I don't know if they're 2 or 3 right now.
2 to 3. Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Okay.
Look at you,
Wow.
a full-fledged orbit now.
I think that their large discography before their like official debut is their biggest like gift and their biggest curse at the same time. Now, let me explain, right? And let me tie this to the hot take too. Because number one, they got a lot of members. 12 members seems to be like the standard for big groups now, right? That seems to be about the number people get at. So, of course, with Luna, they all had their own individual stuff before they debuted, which means there's a ton of content, right? For when I used to not be into Luna because I was like, it is a giant undertaking for me to like know all these members, know all their solo releases, and that's why I think it's their biggest gift or their curse. But I think the other way I want to take this hot take is sometimes choreography does not fit the amount of members that are in a group.
Yes.
My biggest pet peeve is that when you watch the Inkigayo on the show, they do a good job with the camera. They're showing the kids who are dancing. But sometimes you watch those 4K behind the scenes or fan shots and they're showing the widescreen, the wide shot.
Right.
There's like half the kids are just standing on the side, like watching.
Yeah, not a good look.
And K-pop is not like a sporting event where you have kids on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, they should be on the field at all times.
Seems like that's what they're doing here, though.
What do you mean in terms of this hot take?
Right. No. Like they're put on the bench for like 20 seconds while like
Yeah.
while the dance break is going down or something.
Yeah.
I generally agree with what you said, and for that reason, I'm gonna look at the reason people put a lot of members in one group, right? The common idea, marketing tactic behind, putting 10, 12, 15 members in a group is the idea that, oh, we have a lot of people. You're bound to like one of them at the very least.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right. We got a nice buffet of people here. Pick one or another one, stick with it. That's not, I'm starting, a couple years back, I actually thought that was a good marketing tactic. Now I think that's not a good tactic anymore.
Neither do I.
That only happens in minor cases where you have a lot of members who are all on a similar level of talent and a similar level of visual or whatever, a similar level of appeal to the general masses. If that isn't there, you're going to end up with a situation where you have a group where everybody likes one member, and then you have these 11 members just sticking around for the other member. Big oof if that ever happens, right? Like
Big oof.
a real gigantic big L if that happens. Y'all thought I was gonna say oof. Nah,
I did. I was gonna fan chant you with an oof, but I guess not.
No. I'm breaking all expectations. 2020.
The sugar man.
That was the biggest regret I have.
Now everyone calls you sugar man, dude.
I delivered a very positive take today, so I'm very proud of that. So going back to the point, I feel like it's nowadays it's generally much more safer to from a company standpoint, invest your resources on a couple members, make them really good, and then debut that. Like, for example, ITZY. I feel like they are all on a very similar level of talent, a very similar level of appeal. Now we have this well-balanced situation where you have what Koreans call a rotating door. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
Explain it.
Right. You start the group. You start standing the group by having one member as a bias. For example, let's say I liked Yuna to begin with, right? My bias gets wrecked by Shin Yujin over here, and now my bias is Shin Yujin. So I'm standing Yujin for a while, and then boom, I get wrecked again by Leah Kim. That's actually not Leah Kim, the dancer.
Leah.
Just Leah.
Straight Leah.
Yeah. Then I get wrecked by Leah. Boom. That happens over and over again. And now you have the situation where you're just rotating biases between biases. And now you have this rotating situation where you're just like all the members. I think that is the most ideal. And that is very difficult to replicate if you have 15 members in your group or 10 members in your group.
Can I do can I do an aside real quick?
Oh, what's up?
Yes.
Did you know ITZY has English names that they go by
For
when they're in the
real?
United States? They're funny too.
Oh,
okay,
man.
I'll list them.
Wow.
So, Ryujin is Joanne.
Joanne?
Joanne.
That's like
okay.
an old white
Interesting.
woman name.
Taeyeon is Judy. Yeah,
Okay.
Judy.
What?
Leah is taken off of Julia, which is like her English name.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeji is Lucy.
Lucy.
Lucy. you want to hear Yuna's?
Yuna.
Hase. I'm
Huh?
serious.
Like Olivia Hate.
Like basically.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
not like Hase, like in the Korean word, like you're conceited. They said it's not that, but they spelled like, there's like a derogatory term like you're a hussy. It's basically spelled like that though.
Oh.
I don't know why they chose that, but that is her,
Interesting.
like her English. You can watch videos on this. Type in ITZY English names and it comes up.
Interesting.
Huh.
And they all like laugh every time she says it. But let's get back to the topic at hand now that you're like confused by what I just said. But I have seen some K-pop acts in person over the last couple years.
You have.
I used to think that large groups, I was like, as long as they're doing it all right, like as long as I know who all the members are, it doesn't matter how big the group is, right?
Right.
Like I said before, once you see these a lot of acts in person or on the wide shots, like you could tell it comes down, a lot of the times it comes down to the companies and how they're utilizing the members themselves. Because
Yes, man.
sometimes you're at a concert and so especially like at a KCON concert, you see one group go that has like 12 members, 9 members, 8, 10 members, and you're like, there's like 4 kids on the side. It looks weird, right?
Right.
But then you see another group go and they got like 12 kids. They all dancing the entire time. You're like, I see you, fam. It's a big difference when you compare groups to each other.
I feel like you remember Girl Generation?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
did a really good job of utilizing 9 members. Like, because
For
they
sure.
did a lot of like group formations where like they're moving like concurrently to each other in like gears, like like gears like this.
They also with 12 members, you can establish like personalities sometimes for each member. Like this is like Hyoyeon is the dancer. We know that, right? It's like
Right.
It's like Tiffany is the Korean American. You know what I mean? Like everyone knew who she was, right? Sunny is the short one who's Isuman's niece. That was her character.
Yeah.
Like I felt like with Girls' Generation, the characters were like really defined, and that really helped them. But Anita, what do you think overall about this take?
I feel like I agree a lot with what you mentioned about management and how the group as a whole is, I guess, organized, because I think a lot of the groups that I got into when I first listened to K-pop were really big groups. One of them being Super Junior.
Oh my goodness.
And I feel like coming into K-pop industry and seeing these huge groups was something that I never heard of before.
Yep.
So it was kind of an appeal, because it was something new and kind of interesting, trying to figure out like who was who, what they did, like what their character was, right? But I do feel it has a lot to do with how they are organized, because I feel like even though I got to learn all the names of the Super Junior members, I did feel like there were like a couple of people that were in front the most, that got the most lines, that were on variety shows the most. So it did feel like there was, I guess, not equal opportunity or equal screen time for a lot of people, and that made it hard for someone that's not a fan or that's not that into the group itself. It's hard to recognize people easy. So I do feel it falls a lot on the company, the management, to see if they utilize them well, and it can be helpful, because I feel like the best case scenario that I can think of is 17, in the sense where they have like 13 members and
they dance, all of
they
them.
dance so well. Like I love how they are choreographed, just because you can see that it's made for them, like the group itself. Like there's nobody sitting. I mean, there are times where some of the members are on the sidelines, but for the most part, I feel like everybody's very well included into the performance, so it doesn't feel like there's extra people, like unnecessary people on stage. Everybody is very well included. So I feel like it falls a lot on management. I don't think I have anything against big groups. I feel like there's good qualities to them. I think it makes it seem more like, I don't know, it might sound cheesy, but like a family, especially because it just feels like a huge team.
I worry for them though, because they generally try to room 12 kids in like 2 rooms.
That's like 12 kids in 2 rooms. They gonna fight all day. Like, come on.
You know what's the craziest thing? Let's talk about this. When you see those like group reality shows, they living like 7 deep in a room, and they have like one bathroom in their like when if you go back and you watch Cosmic Girl's first reality show,
oh my god,
it was shocking. There was like 3 kids sharing one bed. There was like 4 kids in one room, and then there was like 6 or 7, and they had like bunk bed city going on in that one room.
Yeah.
And they have like one bathroom going on. Ew, I was like, I feel terrible about these living situations.
Yeah.
I don't know. But going back to you being shocked about how large groups are in K-pop, we're like, well, I don't know if you were big into like the boy group phase in America in the 90s and early 2000s. Was that you, Anita?
Retrospectively, I kind of got into it.
Well, I was in it, right? I was deep in it. Like,
you were?
Bro, I went to my first concert was an NSYNC concert at Meadowlands, which is now Citi Field. That was my first.
No clue.
Bro, Lance Bass was the guy, bro. That was my boy, Lance Bass.
Okay, I don't know what
just
that
saying
is.
that. But they had 5. You had like 98 Degrees with Nick Lachey with 4 members. Henson had 3. Like, we had these small, and then later you had Jonas Brothers with 3. I don't know if they're boy groups. They don't dance a lot. But once I went to K-pop, I was like, Girls' Generation 9. I was like, what is 9? Like, TLC has 3. Destiny's Child has 3. Well, they had 4 at one point, but then they had 3 as the main act, right? Like, I don't know. It was just a lot to handle.
Isn't the Spice Girls like 5?
It was 5 and then 4.
Yes. Okay. I mean, then you have AKB where there's literally hundreds of members.
Crazy amount.
That's the most ridiculous. No, the most ridiculous thing is they have that many members and they don't make people just stand there. They all do it.
No. They make only 24 of them do them.
All right, but
and
still,
they kick the 24 off stage.
Bro, but they go like 7 rows deep sometimes during their concerts. The stand mics.
I remember seeing Fortune Cookie for the same time, where like each row does like, "I need you," and then the row behind them goes in. Like,
yeah. Good times.
Cosmic Girls. Mm-hmm. I am a fan of Cosmic Girls. I feel like they've had better choreo, although I'm not a professional of knowing what's good choreo and bad choreo. I feel like their choreo has been more put together ever since China Line has left.
You know, I agree with that. I agree with they feel so. Is there 10 or 9 right now, Warren?
Right now there's 10.
Honestly, maybe. Okay, well, here's the reasoning why I thought it was good for China Line team. Although Songso was like number 1 for a while, she was the girl. But like Migi and Zhanyi, well, that's her Chinese name, but I don't remember what she go by in.
Sonui.
Yep, that's what she went by. They were like lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
In while they were in Korea, and now they're megastars in China. So, but I agree with you that I think their choreography seems a lot tighter once they have less people around.
Yes.
But that leaves me conflicted because I like China Line a lot.
Yes. There's gonna be a eternal dilemma going on in there.
There's a dilemma between Yehua wanting to bring the kids back. that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. We'll save that for another time. But
we've talked about it before.
We have. But we need to give that story an update now that like things have settled down and Cosmic Girls is on the way up.
I guess we kind of agree that large groups are hindered. Large groups are hindered by their large number of members when they're not managed properly. I guess is what we're trying to conclude at.
I feel like if there's a plan though, if there's a good plan to utilize all your members, you go for it. But you're gonna have to keep planning. That's more planning every time you come back. That's a lot more work. More investment. I don't know, man.
It seems harder, but if done well.
If done well, it's nice. But is the result worth it?
Well, Here's the thing. It's like sometimes 13 people are like, I can't believe they made that formation. But then you watch like TXT and you're like, I can't believe they made that with 5
True,
guys.
yeah.
Right.
So it's a give and take there. Because like TXT, they make like planes with 5 dudes. Like, I don't know. They do it. But I guess that covers the hot take for this week. Shout out to Hot Take Harold. Yeah. But now let's move on to the news and events from last week. First one, BTS smashes pre-order records.
Ooh.
On January 16th, this is like 4 days ago. The number might be like way higher than it is now. But on
Probably.
January 16th, Big Hit Entertainment officially announced that BTS's upcoming studio album Map of the Soul 7 had achieved the group's highest number of stock pre-orders yet. According to the music distributor Dreamus Company, Map of the Soul 7 surpassed 3.4 million stock pre-orders since pre-orders went live on January 9th. So that is 1 week, right?
Ooh, yes.
The mega group has already broken the previous record set by BTS's 2019 mini album, Map of the Soul Persona, which had a record of 3 million pre-orders over the entire pre-release period. Man. BTS' fourth studio album, Map of the Soul 7, will be released on February 21st, while the music video for the album's lead single will drop 1 week later on the 28th.
Okay.
The fact that they're at 3.4, it might be like 4 now, right? When we're
Right.
talking. And that is might be like 1 million over what Map of the Soul Persona did over the entire pre-order period is nuts.
That's a lot of money.
If we
a
think
lot
of it,
of
right?
Yeah, it's like
It's 3.42 million. I know on the US store the album is $25 with free shipping. I think.
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
It's $100 million.
It's gonna go over $100 million in pre-orders.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Shout out to the company that's printing this. I don't think they've slept. Like since January 9th.
Do you think
They're
it's
printing
one
it 24/7. They might contract multiple companies to
Right.
print this.
That's
I
what I'm
hope so.
thinking.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I think number one, popularity just keeps getting bigger, right? They had John Cena on one of the shows pick out his favorite BTS member
What?
recently. It keeps
John
up coming up
Cena.
in my recommendation. I don't watch it, but it happened. 3.4 million albums, guys.
Do you guys think like it's possible that like an artist wants to like physically print an album and goes to a record printing company and they're like, "Can I have it printed for March 4th?" And they're like, "No, we can't." And they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Oh, we're busy printing BTS albums. Sorry." Like, do you think that's possible? That's probably
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. Because, like, my guess is they're already printing them outside of the country.
For sure.
For sure, yeah. Made in
I don't-
China or India or whatever.
Yeah, we have no clue to know how the distribution system works, but I think the smart thing they did was open up international stores. At least in the US, they have one. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
can order it there.
Smart people.
But-
Smart business moves.
They are treading in territory now that I never thought K-pop would get to. Like, they are so mainstream that it's, in my wildest imagination, 10 years ago and maybe 8 years ago when we're watching like Wonder Girls on Nickelodeon and Girls' Generation on David Letterman, I thought this was the peak. I was like,
That
this
was
is
it.
and Boa Eat You Up.
Yes.
I thought that was like the peak, honestly. But I'm completely wrong with that. Who would have thought? As a Korean American who wasn't very Korean growing up, like Japan was the dominant Asian culture and pop culture my entire childhood.
It was.
Like Pokemon was cool, Dragon Ball Z
Yeah,
was
yeah.
cool.
That's right.
I was like, I'm from Korea. They're like, there wasn't much to go on. Kimchi, like, you know what I mean?
At least they
Taekwondo,
knew what kimchi was. They
Taekwondo,
did.
right? That's like all
yeah.
Korean War. Those were the things you knew of Korea back in the day.
Bro,
But-
I grew up in I went to elementary school for 2 years in Michigan, and there was a bunch of Japanese kids there, and like at one point I got into a fight with them because like
Oh
I
no!
was like,
What?
kimchi's Korean, and they were like, no, kimchi is Japanese. I was like, bro, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I was like, bro, but I don't blame them because at the same time I was like, Digimon is Korean, and they were like, no, it's Japanese. Like, what? So we were all young and not really smart, but
Yeah.
good times. Now look at us. Now look, tables have turned.
No, I think there's definitely something to be said about BTS has opened, and K-pop itself has opened the door for a lot of Korean Americans to be proud of their heritage. I think that's a good thing. It's also a bad thing because it's one of those things where it becomes overexposed too, and sometimes too much of a good thing's a bad thing. So there's a fine line there, but overall, it's like you say you're Korean, it's cool now. It never was like a cool thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm Korean, right? It was like, but I wonder how kids who aren't as comfortable being Korean are now when you say you're Korean, they're like, BTS, right? Like, I could see it being annoying for some of those kids.
Shout outs to all the K-pop fans on dating apps.
All right, let's keep going. So the second thing is BTS and Starbucks Korea are joining forces for a collaboration campaign. This includes new menus and merchandise available for sale tomorrow, January 21st, and to February 6th. So if you're in Korea, go to Starbucks. They got BTS stuff. New products include 1 beverage menu, 5 food menus, and 6 types of merch.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I looked it up. So they name some of the stuff after BTS. They have like BTS on some of the cups and stuff.
What is a drink called? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they got to be named something BTS.
Like,
but lastly, on February 4th, BTS will host its corporate briefing with the community, which is similar to that corporate meeting they had back in August of last year. It will include a discussion about the future plan and vision of BTS.
Man,
So that's going to be something big, I think.
you know what that reminds me of?
What?
You know how like Apple or like Samsung like twice a year they're like,
Yeah.
this is the new iPhone, or like this is the all new Samsung Galaxy. It's something like that now. They're like, this is the new BTS album.
Let me make a prediction. They're going to announce the world tour dates, because people are pretty sure they're having it. I think it's going to be fully announced then.
Okay.
But the dates sort of have leaked and people deleted them. Like it went up somewhere and then it got down real quick.
Well, it sounds like
You heard it here first. There's going to be a world tour coming. Just letting everyone know.
okay.
I don't know. Now let's move on to our second major topic. So this is Zico's Any Song and All
Zico.
Kills Explained. So on January 15th, Zico's Any Song became the first song of 2020 and of the decade to achieve a perfect all kill. I know at home all of you are like, perfect all kill, certified all kill. I was pretty confused sometimes when I read these stuff so I found some articles that broke down what each of them are. So hopefully we as an audience and as a nation can get more informed because it's a little bit confusing.
All right, let's get it.
Okay, so there are 3 types of all kills that a song can achieve on the Korean charts. The first one is called just a straight all kill, just all kill. So that occurs when a song reaches number 1 on all real-time charts. So real-time charts, they're the ones that update, some of them every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes, every hour. If you achieve number 1 on all of those, you got an all kill, which is the first step.
Makes sense.
Second, we have the certified all kill, which occurs when a song reaches number 1 on all daily and real-time charts. But wait, did I write this wrong? Okay, no, so it's when it reaches number 1 on all daily and real-time charts, but not on the weekly charts.
Okay.
So
So
those
second tier up. Okay.
Second tier also includes the charts that update once a day. So when you do that, then you got the certified all kill. So you have all the real-time charts, and then you have the ones that refresh once a day. Lastly, we have the perfect all kill, which is the most difficult, of course. So when perfect all kill occurs when you get number 1 on all weekly, daily, and real-time charts. So that includes weekly charts as well.
Wow.
So does that make sense to everyone? So
Yeah.
number 1, regular all kill, just real-time. Second, certified all kill, daily and real-time. And number 3, perfect all kill, which is weekly, daily, and real-time.
So Zico's Any Song got number 1 on the real time, the daily, and the weekly charts on all the charts.
Correct.
That's a lot of
Wow.
charts.
So now you know, like, perfect all kill, it's rare. Well, it is also getting exceedingly rare because there are more and more charts being added. So the charts that are now used currently to count towards the perfect all kill include Melon, Genie, Bugs, Soribara, Flow real-time chart, and Instas iChart, which is the weekly and their real-time chart. So
Who decides what charts are included and like?
it seems that, well, don't quote me on this. the real limiting factor and the real one that changes everything is Instas, because they are the only one with the weekly chart on here, and their chart is a
Really?
composite chart on their website.
Huh. I'm sure Melon has a weekly chart too.
Yeah, but when you go on Insta's chart and you click any of the point totals, it breaks it down by every single chart. Like,
Okay.
it averages and has a point system.
So iChart is is a composite of the other charts.
Correct.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. Instas it is. Shout out to the Instas girls.
Okay? But in 2019, only 6 songs achieved the perfect all kill. So this is in order of release. So the first one was BTS featuring Halsey, Boy With Love in April. It was their second ever in their career after 2018's Fake Love. Then we had Bolpaigan, Sachungi. So they had Workaholic in September. Akdong Musician or Akmu, How Can I Love the Heartbreak, You're the One I Love in October. MC Mong, Fame featuring Song Gaeun and Chancellor in October. IU's Love Poem in November, which reached number 1 on all charts within 2 hours of release, which was the fastest of the year. And then lastly, IU's second Perfect All Kill with Blooming, also in November.
Wow.
So 6 in 2019. That seems like a small number, right?
Right?
Yes.
Well, it is. No, I'm sorry to break it to you. It is. 2018, 13 songs achieved Perfect All Kills. 2017, 15. 2016, 18.
I feel like the reason it's getting more difficult is not only because the charts are changing their system up. It's also, I feel like it's also because, well, the algorithm used to calculate ranks have changed a little bit in the past couple of years. And then there's the whole sajegi thing, the chart
Yes,
manipulation
that's a
thing,
big thing.
Yeah.
which that's still on my backlog of videos I want to make. So I promise it'll be out there one day, promise. But I mean, that just tells me that this might be Zico's biggest song yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his first one ever, but it might be. So,
Yeah, and we decided to make it a side piece last week.
Sorry. I mean, if you... All right. I'm sorry. Warren, if you really like that song, you can do the any song challenge.
Yeah. Record yourself.
Warren, record it and put it on our Instagram, please.
No.
Everyone ask him to. Okay, but
No.
I also think another reason why there's not as many Perfect All Kill is just the cafe culture where they're playing like ballads all day, every day.
Yeah.
So that definitely boosts their real-time numbers, I would say. So all things. There's so many things that probably go into this. And the underlying factor right now, which is kind of sad, is the manipulation of these charts. So who knows what's going on. But lastly,
Who knows?
KCON announces dates and locations for 2020. The event is, KCON is an annual convention and music festival that includes concerts featuring performances by popular K-pop artists. So these were the 4 that they announced for this season. So KCON 2020 Japan will be held from April 3rd to April 5th at the Mukuhari Mise. Is that correct word?
I think.
Okay.
Messe.
Yep. KCON 2020 New York takes place from June 12th to June 14th at the Jacob Javits Convention Center. KCON 2020 LA is set to take place from August 27th to August 30th at the LA Convention Center. And KCON 2020 Thailand will be held from September 26th to September 27th at the Impact Arena and Exhibition Center. So these are just the convention dates. They haven't announced any of the concert dates, but you know, they happen at the same time. So
Okay.
and you could basically confer where they're gonna have the concerts for at least as far as I know, New York will most likely be Madison Square Garden. LA will be the Staples Center because they're both within walking distance of those convention halls. Lastly, KCON is reportedly in the works planning a concert in Moscow, Russia, but it is not confirmed yet.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You know what's criminally missing from those 4 dates? I want to say Europe, South America,
Of course,
Australia.
of course.
You know, back in 2015, they had a KCON in Jeju, which is kind of crazy. Jeju is like the Hawaii of Korea. It's an island. They had Paris and Abu Dhabi in 2016, so they are still forgetting the Middle East, and Australia in 2017. The Europeans were the most angry from what I saw on Twitter, rightfully.
Rightfully so.
Like, I don't think it's that crazy of them to just have a concert in like London, or more accessible to everyone would be like Central Europe in Germany or
Yes.
France.
Right.
Yes.
There's a lot of K-pop fans across the EU and other European countries. I don't know why it's so difficult for them to do that. I think everyone should be allowed to take part in these things.
You know why you need to like stop hyping Rocket Punch at KCON? Like the moment you started talking about KCON, like I'm not even like exaggerating this for the podcast. My heart started like beating real quick. I'm not even messing with you. Like it's like
You just hear the word.
it's like oh, it's like I can't even form words right now. Like that's how crazy it is.
If you've never been to, I'll let you stew in that a little bit. If you've never been to KCON before, I went for the first time last year. I went to one day, one concert. I saw the IZ*ONE essentially mini concert that occurred because Everglow couldn't be there.
Right.
The convention itself, I went with my sister, who's a casual K-pop fan. We both had a really great time. Now,
Yeah.
I would say KCON New York, which is smaller than LA. For me, it's like, number one, they had a lot of sponsorship booths, like McDonald's sponsored,
Oh yeah.
Asiana
True
Airlines.
K-pop.
They have some streetwear. All the merch that they sell there is either KCON official or real official merch. They don't sell like fan-made goods.
That's what gets me excited.
You know, because that would be some of the first Rocket Punch merch if they come. So other than that, though, I had a great time. I saw like celebrities that I didn't think I would ever see in person. I saw Mikey Chen, who's a famous YouTube food YouTuber. He goes around and eating Asian food primarily. Yeah, he that was pretty cool to see him there too. Overall though, KCON's a great time. And how often can you like express your like of K-pop in public, because it is still a little bit taboo?
Yeah, if you still haven't filled out that form yet, I saw a lot of people who told me they put Rocket Punch in the form, and I thank you guys all. But if you haven't filled out the form yet, while you're filling out our names, Rocket Punch isn't too difficult to spell out. There's a lot of
There's a rookie section.
there's a whole rookie section. You can put down your favorite groups, and you only have two, right? Because you have a favorite boy rookie and a favorite girl rookie, and then you have an extra slot left. So
I mean, you could put ITZY, you could put like Cherry Bullet,
or
maybe you put Bandit down there.
because everybody else is gonna put ITZY and Cherry Bullet and Everglow. Rocket Punch might not be a bad idea. Root for the underdog. That's what we're talking about here. So
if Ari gets to see Bim Bam Boom in person, I think we have another thing going with Anita where she's gonna eat sundubu jjigae, which is tofu soup with ATs. That's the other joke.
this is a running joke between us. If she's gonna eat sundubu right next to ATs, then ATs is actually gonna make an accident, spill that sundubu onto ATs, and be like,
let's explain the joke.
No,
Let's explain the
no.
joke. This is some insider information from Doug. This is rare, so keep this on the down low. Although we have a lot of listeners
It's not insider information anymore, I guess.
in LA, right?
yeah,
After you perform at a concert, if you're a K-pop artist, it's like 11, 11:30, 12. Maybe you took a shower, changed. What do you need to do? It's been a long day. You need to eat. How many restaurants do you think are open at like 11:30, midnight? Not that many. Koreans are a little bit weird. What do they want to eat when they're on their vacation? They still eat Korean food for some reason. It happens. You know what's open at 24/7 in Los Angeles? There's a sundubu jjigae place that is open 24/7. I wonder who might be showing up there after the concert.
So Anita, me, and Doug, we're gonna be there. ATs is gonna show up. We're very coincidentally.
I mean, I already made the reservation, guys.
Right.
What?
We're gonna get the seat right next to
No.
ATs, right? Just right next to ATs.
No.
And
No,
then they're
no.
gonna spill some of their sundubu onto Anita, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Mabi girl,
Let's take a picture to make up for it, right?
what's your name?"
No.
Yeah.
No.
But that's the running joke we got right now. But I don't know. We will go. Well, I can't speak for Anita. I can speak for me and Warren because the location is obviously way easier for us. We will be going to KCON New York regardless of if we for some reason get lucky and get invited as influencers. I'm going regardless because it's a great time, I think. And now that Anita doesn't have ATs anymore, we're gonna do our best to get her.
We'll be all right.
Nah, you need to get some Sundubu on your t-shirt, all right, Anita?
No.
80s Sundubu all over your t-shirt. So get ready.
No.
What is that? Okay.
We'll make. I want to make a vlog of like if you do go.
Oh yeah, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that so I can commit to it.
We got some plans for KCON that we will slowly let out. But KCON dates, I feel bad for our South American, Australians. Number one, shout out to Australia. I feel bad about the fire situation. Please donate to that if you can. Yes. Also, in terms of K-pop, my European friends, listeners, members of the nation, really sucks because like there's a lot of you, right? There's a lot of K-pop fans in Europe, and God, I know there's some smaller conventions, but like obviously KCON's the premier convention on a global scale.
DJ certified.
But now let's move on to quick takes. First one. YG Entertainment announces license agreement with Bravado, a merchandise company under Universal Music Group. They plan to launch Blackpink goods during the first half of 2020 in the Americas, Europe, and Australia regions.
Okay.
Isn't that
Why?
strange? I don't know. In my trip there in Korea, there's a store in Lotte-Young Plaza. There's a YG pop-up, right?
Yeah.
It was like 10 foot by 10 foot. It was tiny. Like, I looked through some of the stuff. Like, the only thing that I thought was cool, I wouldn't get it. They had the Blackpink, the jumpsuit that they wear sometimes. They had that. They had the Blackpink jumpsuit. I thought they had the big hammer light stick. They had the Big Bang figures, the really super realistic, expensive ones.
Yes.
They did not have Seungri's up there, which I was happy about. They did not. Take
the L, victory.
But some of the merch was cool. I'm a merch guy. I like merch. I might buy some if it's cheap.
I mean, I feel like they shouldn't be releasing merch when they haven't released albums in a while. Just putting that out there.
That's not even a hot take at this point.
Yeah, I mean, don't. Why? I don't know. I guess investing in merch is a quick cash grab, but like I'm not a fan of this Jake Paul, Logan Paul method over here of no. You focus on your music first, please.
If they release the jumpsuit in America and it comes in a thick size, what? I might buy it just so I can wear it on the podcast. I might buy the Blackpink jumpsuit.
What is this Blackpink jumpsuit? I'm googling this and nothing's coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
It was in one of the music videos, I believe. I think Lisa was wearing it.
The all white one?
Oh, is it all white? I swore I saw a pink one there. I could be wrong though. There's like this weird jumpsuit that they had. I thought it was pretty cool.
Someone sent me a link to it after on SojuTalk Talk on.
I might be wrong too. Maybe I'm hallucinating, but
it's okay.
Next, it is speculated that YG has trademarked Baby Monsters as the name of their newest girl group survival series.
What?
It is also rumored that YG will be pursuing a more girly and charming direction for their newest female group that might debut.
Oh, okay. They're doing a white with the white.
Are you kind of lost for words on that, Warren?
Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I just ripped YG a new one with the previous take, and now it's just... I don't know, man.
I fear for this.
I fear for this.
I'm scared.
What happened to Treasure?
Exactly. I don't think it's the right time.
Hey, Warren, I found the picture if you want to look. It sort of looks like this.
Oh,
that kind of look.
The jumpsuit?
It's not really a jumpsuit in the music video, but it was like a jumpsuit in person.
Okay.
So that look. So I just sent them a picture of Lisa in the doo-doo-doo video.
The pink suit with her pink gloves and her pink shoes.
They kind of had like I could swear they had like a pink jumpsuit. I thought it was interesting. But Baby Monsters seems like how about we raise the monsters we got already? right? Like,
Yes. There's a
how
lot
about we
of
do that?
babies.
You know, Rose was on one of the shows I watched called Do Re Mi Market, where they basically play music because Korean sometimes is difficult to understand. That's why there's so much subtitles, right, on Korean variety shows. And they basically listen to songs with weird pronunciation and try to figure out what the lyrics were. She was on there, and I was like, it's nice to see you, Rose, but normally people show up when they're promoting things. she I don't know. And Rose is my favorite member. I was just like, I wish you came when there was like a comeback like happening.
Right.
I thought that was a little weird.
It's the worst part is we have no idea why.
Yeah.
If it was a smaller company, I'd be like, oh, you know, they're lacking funds. You know, they don't have the investment. You know, they're waiting for a time so that, you know, the bigger groups can come back first. No, that none of that applies here. None of that applies here.
It's one of those things. Would you like to print money? And they're saying no. You know what I mean?
No, we don't want your money, please.
I don't know. But the next one. Anita, how do I pronounce the EXO fan? Is it EXO-L?
Yes.
Okay, EXO-L trends numerous hashtags to support Chen as the protests planned against him fall short. So on the 19th, a group of fans who stated that they wanted Chen out of the group, they basically warned of a protest that would consist of 200 fans. That's what they said online. In reality, so they went to the COEX atrium where the SM Town is. It was raining out too. Only 10 to 20 actually came out for the event. And they were like stomping on his posters and stuff.
I mean,
kind of a bad look. Kind of a bad look, right?
Yeah, not a good look.
Very bad.
I get that you could be like disappointed as a fan, although I don't think you should be super disappointed. I get why, because it's a little bit sudden, right? It's a little bit shocking. But at the same time, it's his life and he's entitled to have a life. Not a good look to go to. It was kind of sad too, because I saw some pictures of it on Twitter. There was like 2 rows of like 10 people. They had like signs that said like kick them out of the group, and they were all trying to cover up their identities, because you know that's a thing in Korea, but at protests it's an even bigger thing. So they were like all like with the hat over the face with the mask, and they were sitting in the rain.
Imagine like, you know, leaving your apartment, your parents are there, and your mom's like, oh, you know, what's the typical Korean name, right? Like, whoa, you know, Jisun, where are you going?
Where are you going
like,
with all of your posters?
Oh,
right?
I'm just going to hang out with my fan friends, you know, with my oppa, Chen, and then my mom, and then the mom's gonna be like, oh, you know, how are you reacting to his recent, escalation of events? Are you dealing okay with that? And the girl's either like, oh, whatever answer, and then leaves this apartment to go stomp at posters at COEX in the middle of really.
Yo, COEX Mall is a very public and big place. Like, it's not a good look. Like,
imagine. Okay, here's the thing. Imagine the biggest mall in your neighborhood,
and times it by like 2.
Yeah.
COEX Mall's not a... Well, I realize there's a mall section, which is where the bookstore thing is, you know, those Instagrammable bookshelves. But actually, COEX Mall, where SM is more like a convention center area, like the section where they're at.
Yeah.
And like, everyone who's passing them is probably going into SM Town, so everyone's an SM fan, and not a great look. And the tourists were probably confused as to what was going on. Like,
yeah, imagine you're a tourist who came to like see this SM, bonanza going on, and then immediately you see 20, Korean people with masks
huddled up next to each other in the rain,
and they're like stamping on posters and whatnot. Like,
is that a great look?
Not a good look.
Even if you like don't like the fact that he's suddenly getting married and going to have a kid, like, not a good look.
That's not a way to like communicate your distress.
Anita, how do you feel about this?
Well, I was gonna say, to be honest, I'm kind of glad that even I was expecting some sort of response from fans or a group of fans saying like, no, they don't want him in the group anymore. So I expected this. I'm so glad it was unsuccessful though. Very glad. I feel like it reassures me that he will be okay. Things will be okay. The group will be fine. I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, you could look up the pictures online. Like, I felt bad for them, even though I don't disagree with their opinion. I felt bad like that they were doing this. I wanted to be like, stop, Go get a coffee. It's cold. Go inside. Like,
Get some hot chocolate.
go home. Go home, please.
Go to Sinjibang. Clean up. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people say that K-nets, K-netizens are really angry at Chen. No, it's like 20 people who are angry, guys.
Yeah. But let's move on. Next one. The Rose to perform as special guests at Halsey's concert in Seoul on May 9th.
Wow.
Number one, cool that Halsey's coming to Seoul. Interesting choice to pick The Rose. I like The Rose too. Underrated. And
Very
I
much,
bet you some BTS member's gonna show up, right? Because they got the connection with Halsey. Someone's probably gonna show up, right? Yeah. I would be surprised if they didn't. Next one. JYP Entertainment releases. Is it Niji? How do I say that, Warren? How do you say rainbow in Japanese? That's what this means. Niji project teaser. So the Niji project is the JYP collaboration with Sony Music to create a new girl group for the Japanese market. According to the teaser, the show will begin airing on January 30th.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. See, did you just hear Anita's reaction? Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of excitement, a little bit of interest. Mm-hmm. This is what happens when the company has a good track record. On the other hand, you have Mr. YG, I'm not going to do anything but commit crime and then open new shows. Anyways.
It's amazing that it would even be a survival show, not just a reality show. Like, I rather just watch behind the scenes stuff because, after Mix 9, I have no faith in them doing a treasure box. Like, they shouldn't do these elimination shows.
Nobody likes them anymore anyways. Like,
here's the thing. I would be okay, like, if they're saying, all right, we're going to make a new group, I'd be like, all right, sucks for Blackpink. But if they just said, these are the members, let's just watch their behind the scenes for 6 months to a year before they debut and build some momentum. Yeah. I would be way more down for that. That would actually be really cool because by the time they debut, they would all be megastars probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going on. But finally, trials continued for the produced series vote manipulation case. This is kind of funny as well. Agency reps continue to deny bribery charges. That's okay. They're pretty much going that they were. It seems like that they are going the route where the agencies they want to say that they weren't involved and it was just On and the rest of his staff. But head PD On and chief PD Kim claim that they did manipulate the series, but denied guilt and connection with the agencies and stated that they did not act unlawfully, but acted for the sake of the success of the resulting groups.
I mean,
what?
That's their stance on this.
So they're saying, okay, essentially they're saying there was a big party at my apartment, but only 2 people showed up, which was me and the other guy.
It's just crazy how they're saying like no they're saying that they manipulated that, which alone is like I think an admission of guilt, right? And of unlawfulness because there's money involved. But then they said like they have the audacity to say like we did it because we wanted to pick the best members so they would succeed. That's ridiculous.
Trying to save face, but it's not working.
I don't think that's trying to save face.
Lastly,
I don't know.
Lastly, CJ E&M did create 25.3 billion Korean won, which is around 21 million United States dollars fund to help the music industry after the Produce 101 controversy with KC Ventures, which is an independent financial company. And they formed this in order to help artists as well as creators who do not have much recognition but have high potential in their early stages. I think that's a good move, but at the same time, I was like, shouldn't you refund everyone and compensate the people who got wrecked by this first? That's my only take on that.
Yeah, this venture, I mean, I haven't read too much into it, but seems a little vague to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that was all the news. We didn't have that many main stories, but it was good that we got to talk about some of the quick takes more. Warren, hit us with the ridiculous amount of comeback news.
All right. January 21st on Tuesday, Paul Kim and Chungha. January 24th on Friday, coming to you with Stray Kids with English versions of Double Knot and Labanter. We also have a lot of confirmed comeback news with Golden Child on January 29th, Davichi's Lee Hae-ri on January 29th, Yezi, aka Crazy Dog, on January 30th. Is that her official AKA?
No, I call her Crazy Dog from the Unpretty Rap Star thing. Oh Keep going.
All right, let me get back to my narrative. Hyogo on January 30th, G-Friend on February 3rd, G-Friend, holy shit. Okay. Everglow on February 3rd. Icon and February 6th. FTLN's Lee Hong-gi on February 5th. The Boys sometimes in February. Card and Robbie in February. Yeah, you have it. All right, good. Awesome.
This is going to be like, you remember October, November?
Yeah.
It's happening again, guys. Because everyone's done with winter break now, so everyone and their mother is gonna come back.
We have like next week. We have
okay. Honestly, if this was a normal week, we probably wouldn't have anything to cover, but we might cover we'll comment on the Stray Kids English versions of Double Nine and Levanter, but we've already heard these songs, right? Paul Kim / Chungha is like borderline something we would cover, but maybe we'll do something fun next week. Who knows? Because there's not much music.
We'll see.
State of the Nation. The first one is about me. Second one's about Warren. First one, my sister sent me and my family a VR headset.
Whoa.
Wow.
Virtual. So shout out to the crazy cat lady in Boston, aka my sister. Shout out to Chingu and Bean, her two cats that are lovely. I am their uncle. Those cats. I had never used VR before in my life. Never.
How was
until mind blowing.
Oh.
Like crazy. I get it now. I used to be like, VR. I get it now. The even best part is they have a YouTube app.
Oh my god.
You can watch K-pop in 4K. Bro, it's like watching K-pop on a 200-inch screen. Also, some groups have like 3D videos. Not just them dancing in a circle, which I sent you guys a video of me dancing to Eyes One, which is kind of weird. Yeah. There's a G-Idol video with like a storyline, and it's in 3D. Like, you eat chicken with them at one point.
What?
I'm telling you. They did choreography, and then you spawned all of a sudden at a table, and there's chicken, and they're all like virtually within like 6 feet of you. And it's pretty much scaled correctly because I think they're around like 5'4", 5'6", 3'2", like around that range, like lower 5s, mid 5s.
3'2".
They're like that high. 5'3", 5'2".
Oh.
They're like that height in the VR thing too. It's crazy.
Dang. Is it like animated or like is it like filmed?
It's a bit 3D too.
Okay. Interesting.
Warren, when you come over, you got to try this. You're going to be like, what the hell is this? Like, I had never seen this video before, but there's like a storyline and you end up at the music video shoot with them.
Video.
Yeah, there's like a whole storyline going on. It was crazy. I didn't know this existed. But VR,
I did try VR before. At there's VR arcades in Korea now. Those are a thing. I don't know if any of you guys did it, but I ended up doing it with a friend. And it's one of those things where like if I do it for like more than 20 minutes, it's like super dizzy.
Bro, no. I like, you know how VR you set up like when you have it at home, you have to set up like a region to play at. We have like a pretty open area, so I just set the boundaries. You can do that so you're safe. There's a stationary mode, so I just plopped down a comfortable chair and I just sat there and watched K-pop for like 5 hours straight. I watched like the music videos for today in my VR headset, dude. It was so immersive, bro. I could like,
it's crazy.
Even like regular music videos that don't have VR, you can like curve the screen a little so it's like in your field of view. And the equivalent would be like a 250 inch TV for like regular music videos. It's mind blowing how crazy this was. I don't know. Second thing. So Warren, Mnet is going to launch a new hip hop survival show featuring famous rappers from the past. The show will be titled "Do You Know Hip Hop?" And the show will feature rappers who actively promoted from the late 90s to early 2000s and pioneered the hip hop genre in Korea. How do you feel about this, sir?
I feel mixed.
Okay.
Have you heard of this? What?
Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I heard of it. I think the news article came out like late last week or something like that. Here's the thing. We have Show Me the Money.
Yep.
We have had 8 seasons of Show Me the Money. It looks like we're about to get 9th this year. The show needs to stop. But we've had a couple old rappers show up on the show. You know, first couple seasons had KCON in it. You know, MC Meta Natal, Then later on, we got Mr. Memes, One Son. You know,
Oh
Jiku
my
was in it
goodness.
at one point. P-Type was in it a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
And what usually happens when an older rapper comes on, when some of the OGs come on, is that they are really unable to compete. They kind of become a laughing stock, and they end up getting eliminated pretty early on.
Mm-hmm.
So in that aspect, I'm worried about it, and I'm worried about it being cringy.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, because 90s hip hop, I know what it was like. I know that it's not gonna have a good, public mass appeal. And I know that these people, some of them haven't rapped in years probably. So we'll see what happens. At the same time, I'm excited to see who might be on. People who I might see is Drunken Tiger.
Yeah.
KCON, MC Meta, and Natsa might probably be on there. Dynamic Duo actually might be there. That's around when they debuted, late 90s.
Kangeri.
P-Type- Huh?
Kangeri.
Kangeri might be there as well. He debuted with like Honey Family, which was like late 90s.
Yeah.
Then there might be people like Defcon in there. Defcon
Yeah.
right now, he might have a very family-friendly comedian vibe. But if you listen to his first album, which is like, it's impossible to listen to anymore, it has a very like hardcore aspect to it, with like very gangsta rap in it. So we might see Defcon in it. So at the moment, I don't know what the lineup is gonna be. Am I excited? Yeah. Am I worried? Yeah. It's kind of a mix. Yeah. But we'll see what happens.
You can continue. What else do you got to say about K-pop?
What else I gotta say? There's one award show that I really pay attention to every year, and it's the Korean Music Awards. And this is a music award show that is not based on popularity or like sales. They're based off of who they try to celebrate the craftsmanship of every genre and whatnot. And that's going on. Korean Hip Hop Awards is going on. There's a lot of exciting nominees. We've talked about it in the Discord server, so come check it out. That being said, I'm looking back at my catalog of songs from the last decade still. I'm still in that mode of, reminiscing from the 2010s. I'm going back and listening to a lot of albums from like earlier in the decade, like Elephant, if you guys know what that is, or earlier Dynamic Duo albums. Good stuff. I guess what I'm trying to say with all this is I hang out in the Discord server a lot more than I used to.
You do. I'm
come
happy
say hi.
about that.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, stop staring at me. What else do you want me to say, huh?
Anita, do you have anything going on about K-pop and such?
Not specifically K-pop related. So, again, this week has been more variety stuff, more YouTube stuff.
Yo.
So not too long ago, the latest episode of Workman came out.
Work.
The newest host. I'm not sure.
Her name
like
is
a permanent person too.
No.
I heard she's gonna be on one episode a month.
Yeah.
That was what I
okay,
heard.
okay.
But her name is Kim Mina. She's a JTBC announcer. She does the weather right now, but she also is a commentator for League. So she's kind of like one of the League of Legends famous announcer girls. She's a complete troll. And bro, that episode was so funny.
I didn't think who would come on would be as funny as Jang Sung-kyu. But man, I would be worried if I was Mr. Jang.
She was so funny.
Man.
I've been binging her other YouTube stuff.
Same.
Hilarious.
Have you seen
Constantly.
her on the League stuff?
Yes. Dude, there's one episode where she's like crying and cursing at the same time because she can't get CS, which are minions in League of Legends. Yeah. It's so funny.
I don't even watch League, and I still watch those videos. They're hilarious.
But another thing that's related to that is like, so I wanted to follow her on Instagram, right? Because I was like, this girl's hilarious. Let me follow her. She has to accept your request because that's how her profile is set up.
She's private, yeah.
She's private. I heard. Well, last time I checked, she didn't accept you, right?
No.
She accepted me, and I accidentally requested her on the SojuTalk Instagram account. So she accepted it on that one too, but not Warren for some reason.
No. She accepted me right before she accepted Soju.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that happened.
I don't know. I sent the request in like as soon as the episode ended.
I sent it like a couple days after. But Anita, are you still here? Because I think you might have cut out.
Oh Oh
no! Let's take a break because our screens are weird.
We're almost
3,
done though.
2, 1, break. All right, we got Anita back. We're almost at the end, guys. But me and Warren talked about Workman a little bit, Anita, and how much we like the new host Kim Mina. But how about you?
I really liked it. I think it's nice that they're trying to get different people involved, and I feel like if it's gonna be like a permanent thing where she does it like every so often, it's gonna be really interesting. I really enjoyed like her interactions with the workers. I feel like the humor is still very much the same, very workmanish, if like trademark. So I feel like it's gonna go well. I'm happy with the decision they made.
I saw a lot of comments where people were like, I came to watch this because I'm subscribed to the channel. I thought it wasn't going to be funny, and it was hilarious.
It was still
a lot
really
of the
good.
comments I saw.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how funny that, like, I didn't know of this person until this video, and now I'm a humongous fan off of one video. She was so trolly and funny. But Anita, what else have you been doing? Do we have an update on the AT's ticket, or is it still a joke right now?
No.
It's still a joke right now.
Clarification. I want to clarify from the comments we made earlier. So I feel bad saying like I'm the ultimate AT's fan. Like I enjoy their music, but the biggest fan that I know is my sister. So we were kind of trying to go to the concert together. You know, it didn't quite pan out. We didn't get the tickets. So we're still hoping to get something if they come back or if KCON happens. But don't misinterpret me, guys.
Anita, you on this show, you have to be willing to get stuck with labels off of one thing you say.
I realize that.
I am the love shaker guy, right? Love shaker, is that me?
Yes.
Warren is the sweet guy now, and
man
you're the
now.
AT's fan, even though you might not be as deep as
I like them. I just maybe I'm not dying to have food spilled on me by them. Okay.
Nah, it's gonna happen. It gonna happen.
Happen.
Too late now.
But, I mean, other stuff that I've been watching. I recently noticed that there's a new YouTube channel by the choreographer that appeared on the Produce series. So you might remember him.
Oh,
Yes.
the guy.
No,
The guy.
Oh.
Yes, Kyungju. So I came across like the original demo version of Move, which was performed on Produce X101. And it's really, really great. And I don't know, I feel like I'm looking forward to him putting more stuff on his channel. He's kind of has a couple of videos, but nothing like choreography based yet, except for that one video. But he's super good. Like I feel like having watched the performance of Move with the Produce 101 members and watching his demo version, like the original video, it's like a different feel. Honestly, he's amazing. So
it's also the same thing with Zico's version of the song.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
That's true. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him put more like behind the scenes stuff and like demo stuff that he has done for other groups, especially because he also worked with the Produce 101 Japan group. And I'm hoping he is working with them for their debut song that's going to come out in April? I think it's April.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think they'll have more of a K-pop sounding song or more of a J-pop sounding
People think
song?
it's going to be K-pop sounding.
I'm leaning towards that too. I feel like based on like the concept evaluation songs and the finale songs, they want to either lean more towards that or definitely a mix, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because they are training in Korea, as
Yes.
that's what the reports are.
They are going to be a K-pop influenced Japanese boy band.
I
That
think
is
that's
not
about our time, guys.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh, you got one more thing? Okay.
While Anita was gone, I checked Naver real quick, and Naver is this Korean portal website. There's a trending section, real-time trending search keywords. Usually when there's an artist on it, it means something either good or something bad. C-Jam was on it. C-Jam's trending at number 2 right now.
What did he do?
I was like, I clicked on it. Oh man, did the guy do some weird drugs again? And it just turns out he's just dating this girl on Instagram. So
Nice.
You made me nervous now too, bro.
I know, right? I was super nervous. I was like, is this another drug scandal? Jam. No, once is enough, buddy. So there you go. Anita,
Okay,
don't disappear again because that
We are now
Something
much
new.
smarter for knowing that, Warren.
Thank you.
Just wanted to
problem.
let you know. But
You are
Congrats,
welcome.
C-Jam.
this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me today. Yo, check out episode 69.5. Fill out that form if you're listening in the first 16 hours. We will see you guys next week with episode 71, where we might not have any music to review, but we're still going to have a podcast. See y'all then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch, rocket punch.